Okay, there's passion projects, and then there's Viggo Mortensen's Falling, which he starred in, wrote, and directed. He's a real jack of all trades, that Viggo. Let's talk about his directorial debut, Falling. Before we get started, if you guys are new to the channel, want more movie and TV content just like this, then do hit that subscribe button, help my channel to grow by hitting the thumbs up button, and if you guys have seen the movie Falling, be sure to let me know what you thought of it in that comment section down below. Falling is a character study drama which looks at the relationship between a cantankerous father called Willis, who's played by Lance Henriksen, and his gay son John, who's played by Viggo Mortensen. John is helping his dad to try and find a place near him in California now that his dad is getting old and his mind is starting to let him down. Most likely it's dementia, so he can't really handle the long winters and isolation on his rural farm anymore. It's clear from the offset that Willis is a product of a different era. He's a bitter, grumpy, racist, homophobic, verbally abusive curmudgeon, too old and too set in his ways to change. From the moment he lands in California, he is rustling feathers with John and his husband Eric, who's played by Chen, using homophobic slurs as a term of endearment and making racist jabs towards Eric because he's Asian. They make allowances for his behavior because he doesn't know any better, and for his one redeeming quality is that he does have a soft spot for his adopted granddaughter Monica, who's played by Gabby Velez. The film ping-pongs back and forth to flashbacks when John was a kid, and we see a younger Willis, who's played by Mortnesen, who bears a striking resemblance to Viggo Mortensen. These flashbacks show the audience when Willis's abuse began with his family, starting with his wife Gwen, who's played by Hannah Gross, as well as John's sister Sarah, who's played later in this film as an adult by Laura Linney. Lance Henriksen and Viggo Mortensen have a great father-son dynamic. Willis does not make it easy for people to love him, heck, even to like him, but I really appreciated Mortensen's performance as the patient son trying to help out his dad. It's a very understated performance from Mortensen because he's calm and collected for the majority of the film, but you can't help but sense that there's a lot of repression and frustration bubbling underneath the surface, getting ready to explode, and boy howdy does it in the third act. Mortensen is superb as always. I'll be honest, Lance Henriksen is an actor who I've never really been aware of. I mean, he's had small parts in movies like The Terminator and Aliens, but I never really learned his name until I watched Falling, and he is amazing in this film. I hope because of this film it gets him more work in other prominent films because he really is a fantastic character actor, and I would love to see more of him. This might sound like an outrageous comparison, but Laura Linney is kind of like the Nicki Minaj of cinema right now, and let me explain that. Like Nicki Minaj, Laura Linney just swings on by for a verse, or in this case, a scene, splashes her talent all over the track, or in this case, movie, and completely enriches the song, or in this case, movie, just like she did in The Road's Not Taken. She comes in, does one scene, adds the emotion, gets the job done, total professional, and just makes it better. Bish bash bosh, boom. That's the first time anyone has ever compared Laura Linney to Nicki Minaj. But that's the thing with Laura Linney, she is such a professional and such a talent. I bet it took her only a day to shoot her scene. But as Sarah, she just brings so much more emotion to the film, and it's also hinted that she was abused even more than John was by their father. So yeah, the performances all around are terrific. I do have some negatives though. Even though I liked Viggo Mortensen's direction, I wasn't really a fan of the structure. The flashbacks to John's childhood do provide a lot of context to John and Willis's relationship. However, the frequency of how much it ping-pongs back and forth I thought was a bit much. On reflection, a lot of the flashbacks don't appear to add much to the story. I'm sure with the source material being so close to Mortensen's heart that it meant a great deal to him, but as an audience member, the meaning isn't always clear. The story is also a tad repetitive. Willis does or says something inappropriate to then be forgiven by his family. Repeat as necessary. It does build to a fracas between father and son, but even after that collision, all is forgiven once again, so it gets a bit stale. But even with all those faults that I just listed, it doesn't detract too much from the experience of watching Falling, because the caliber of the performances is so high. So it's time to ask those three questions. Firstly, would I watch this again? I'm glad that I've seen it. It's not a film that I want to buy and own on Blu-ray, but I could definitely watch this movie again. Question 2, do I recommend it for you guys? For all of you Viggo fans out there, this is a definite must-watch because, you know, he's ticking boxes for writing, directing, and acting. For casual viewers, it's not something that I would push on my family and friends. However, the acting in this is so good that it is worth checking out. So I softly recommend that you watch Falling. And question number 3, what score do I give it out of 10? It's a little repetitive and some scenes do feel a little bit pointless. However, Viggo's heart and soul is clearly in this 100% in his performance, writing and direction. So I'm going to give Falling a score of 6 out of 10. But as always, guys, it's just one bloke's opinion. I want to hear from you guys. If you've seen Falling, what did you think of it? What score would you give it out of 10? If you guys enjoyed this video and want more content just like it, don't forget to click subscribe. Help me out by hitting that thumbs up button. And if you want to follow me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, or Letterboxd, all those links in the video description down below. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. For more things related to movies, TV, and popcorn culture, I'm Luke Airfield, and I'll see you next time.